concluding the symbols, chapter 6 of Jessie L. Weston's From Ritual to Romance. In a very interesting article on the subject in the Journal of the Gypsy Lore Society, Mr. Delahoste examines closely into figures depicted on the various cards and the names attached to the suits by the gypsies. He comes to the conclusion that many of the words are of Sanskrit or Hindustani origin, and sums up the result of the internal evidence as follows. The tarot was introduced by a race speaking an Indian dialect. The figure known as the Pope shows the influence of the Orthodox Eastern faith. He has beard and carries the Triple Cross. The card called the King represents the figure with the headdress of a Russian Grand Duke and a shield bearing the Polish eagle. Thus, the people who use the tarot must have been familiar with the country where the Orthodox faith prevailed, and which was ruled by princes of the status of Grand Dukes. The general result seems to point to a genuine basis for the belief that the tarot was introduced into Europe from the East. As regards the group of symbols in general, Mr. W.B. Yeats, whose practical acquaintance with medieval and modern magic is well known, writes, "Cup, lance, dish, sword, in slightly varying forms, have never lost their mystic significance and are today a part of magical operations. The memory kept by the four suits of the tarot, cup, lance, sword, pentangle, or dish, is an esoteric notion for fortune-telling purposes. From a private letter, the ultimate object of magic in all ages was and is to obtain control of the sources of life. Hence, whatever the use of these objects, of which I know nothing, their appearance in this connection is significant. But if the connection with Egyptian and Chinese monuments referred to above is genuine, the original use of tarot would seem to have been not to foretell the future in general, but to predict the rise and fall of the waters which brought fertility to the land. Such use would bring the suits into line with the analogous symbols of the Grail Castle, of the treasures of the Tuatha de Danann, both of which we have seen to be connected with the embodiment of the reproductive forces of nature. It is difficult to establish a direct connection between these two latter. It is practically impossible to argue any connection between either group and the tarot. No one has as yet ventured to suggest the popularity of the works of Chrétien Troyes among the gypsies, yet the correspondence can hardly be fortuitous. I would suggest that while lance and cup, in their associated form, are primarily symbols of human life energy, in conjunction with others, they formed a group of fertility symbols connected with a very ancient ritual of which fragmentary survivals alone have been preserved to us. This view will, I believe, receive support from the evidence of the ceremonial dances which formed so important a part of the fertility ritual, and which survive in so many places to this day. If we find these symbols reappearing as a part of these dances, their real significance can hardly be disputed." And there's two things that go on. People mythologize their facts. They arrange theories which are greater than... Mythology's supposed to be a theory. A theory's something greater than a fact can ever be, because it makes use of the facts. It's supposed to be the facts to date, and mythology really should be that too. But mythology has the meaning and the purpose. And so the tarot, as a structure of the physical and psychological life of a human being, or other forms, commingle with each other and provoke us towards things. The development of a young man from the page to the knight to the king, and he acquires a queen, whether or not he goes to the top of society in this sort of way and be upper class or even ruling member of the society, it doesn't matter. It's